Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm here in Bali, right, Indonesia. It's great here. The weather's just awesome. And I have Leanne Nova to join me on my channel today. If you haven't seen her video with Chris Dunn, you have to check it out. I saw that video and her story was just amazing. I messaged her right away after watching that video. I said, "Hey, I'm going to Bali. If you're there, I'd like to meet up with you." And here she is
And
right
here
now.
I am. Here I
Oh
am.
man, can you start off with
Champagne
telling
and all.
people, yes, cheers.
Cheers.
Mm,
We had to have a sip.
yes, exactly. So let's start off with that story about how you just decided to just leave, pack up and leave.
Yes, the pack up and leave.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very interesting.
everyone's fascinated by that aspect of me living in Bali. Well, I used to be a teacher, and I one day showed up at work and I had a complete and utter body reaction. And I was tired, I was burnt out, I had I had like normal everyone, a mortgage and bills to pay, and I just like, I'm done here, I'm not doing this anymore. So I packed up and left within 3 weeks.
Wow, wow.
And went into my boss and said I can't come back, and I need time off. And I actually never went back. I packed up my house within 3 weeks, sold it at the peak.
Awesome, that's all good.
Yes,
That's all good.
yes, and moved to Bali, and I haven't looked back. And it's just opened up a ton of doors for me, and get to meet fantastic people over here. So yeah, I made a very bold decision just to check out of the rat race.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. I mean, that takes a different kind of bravery, right? That not all of us have. And I mean, like, I'm sure there's people watching right now. Oh, I could never do that.
Yeah, yeah. People always say to me, "You're so lucky," and I said, "It's not luck. I gave up a $100,000 a year job for 5 years, and when I say to people, 'Are you willing to give up $500,000 to go and do something that your heart says yes to?' Most people are not willing to make that sacrifice. So there's no luck involved. It's a really bold life decision that you're either able to make, or you don't. So it's not luck.
Yeah.
It's not
Wow.
luck. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I find it interesting because women are very risk averse, and this is not only kind of like financial risk. This is actually emotional risk.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, you're coming to a place where you're not going to have a lot of friends. Probably didn't have any friends,
No,
right?
no, none.
My story is similar to that. I moved to Chile with no friends, nobody, not even knowing
Knowing the language. Yep.
It was quite brutal. I
Yes.
mean, Christmas time was pretty sad.
Christmas time is a very hard time. Yeah.
How did you
yeah,
survive
yeah.
Christmas?
Well, luckily for me, Australia is not so far.
Okay.
So I did pop home for a week, but I have had Christmas once in Bali. And by then, though, I had made some connections, but I was very fortunate that Australia wasn't so far away. So yeah, but holidays and birthdays and things that you want to celebrate, yeah, they're all the challenging times of moving countries and following what your heart needs to follow, and they're the sacrifices that you make. And now I have a little nephew, and I've missed him growing up, and but yeah, we have FaceTime and all that stuff now. So,
Exactly.
yes, yes. But I didn't really utilize those things back then. I really went off the grid. So yeah.
I understand that. My personal journey, I was like really home all the time, and just like I ended up drinking a lot.
Yes. That can happen.
But once I got to know people in the area, the things started turning up for me.
It is. It's a really brave
Yeah.
thing, and you've done it, so you know what it's like. And I actually didn't realize it was brave until people started telling me how brave it was. So now when I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, wow, that was a really big thing to do. And a woman on her own. Yes,
Exactly.
A lot of women have said to me, wow, I could never do that. And I'm like, well, you can, but it's how you prepare yourself. And I guess I didn't realize how resilient I was until I did that.
Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
This big risk that you took, I feel it paid off for you. Did it? Do you feel that it paid off for you?
It paid off for me in ways I didn't imagine. So, first of all, I had a lot of stuff from my past that I needed to deal with. And when you sit on your own in another country for a whole year, you face the demons. Everyone has those skeletons in the closet that they don't want to talk about, or emotional baggage, and I dealt with those. So you stare them down in the face, and there's some of the things that sometimes hold us back in life. So I really got the opportunity to focus on myself, and Bali's a perfect place for that. It's quite a spiritual place, so you can do a lot of healing modalities, for want of a better expression, and it's a really interesting place, and it hasn't been easy. Like, I broke my foot here, I had a scooter accident, I've had 10 stitches in my arm from, and when you're sick in another country, it's also very confronting when there's no one to look after you, or so you really get to work out what you're made of.
Yes. Wow. Well, that brings us to Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin comes into this, because there's a story you have of how you heard about Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's perfect for you because it's a high risk asset, and so you actually were able to move into this high risk asset very easily. Tell us a story. Tell us the story about that.
So I met some people in Bali. I'd met them at a resort, actually. Some friends were visiting me, and I was curious about what they were doing because I saw them coming out of their hotel rooms very late into the afternoon. And I ended up talking to them, and they told me that they were into crypto trading. I didn't know a lot about it back then, but I had been in stocks before, so I was naturally curious. And I went down that rabbit hole, and I went down the rabbit hole, and that's how I found Chris Dunn, and I'm part of the Skill Incubator team. And I went into a whole trading boot camp course and locked myself away, and this is my thing. And because I had some health issues, I suffer from migraines, which is part of the reason I kind of got burnt out in my old profession. I needed a profession that I could carry with me, and that was not time sensitive, in that I could, with trading, sit at the computer for 24 hours a day if I wanted to, but I needed to find a sustainable way of making money for myself and utilising my capital that was also allowing me time to look after my body, go for walks on the beach, do yoga, really look after my body so that my migraines would calm down. So yes, I really got into Bitcoin because of Bali and the people I met, and it also allows me to sustain a really healthy lifestyle and do what I love online. So yeah. So moving to Bali changed everything for me, a complete game changer. And I never knew I would end up on this trajectory. And sitting here with you now at this beautiful place is because of all the people I've met in Bali.
Yeah, so when did you get into Bitcoins, actually?
So that was 2017.
2017. Oh, you got in at the peak?
At the nasty time.
At the top, or did you get in at the...
Just before the peak.
Yeah.
Never experienced the parabola before, so I learned a lot of lessons, which I also explained to Chris, because as we were discussing before, to call yourself a trader, most traders have been through the emotional highs and lows of trading. Learning capital, it's learning capital. And if you don't experience it, you keep making the same mistakes, or you don't know how to deal with it when it presents itself again. So, yeah.
Wow. So what is the most interesting trade that you ever made?
Ooh, the most interesting trade I ever made was that Ripple breakout. Was at the end of 2017.
So you trade the altcoins?
Oh, yeah. I love a dirty little altcoin.
I don't call them the other word. It's tier 4 coins.
Yeah, no, we don't want to use that shit coin. No, I do love an altcoin. I used to marry them. Now I divorce them very quickly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. So I will make the trade. I will sit on the trade. So my best trade was the Ripple trade.
Yes. Wow.
which was fantastic. And
You
yeah,
probably got in at $1 or
I got
50
in at
cents?
around 33 cents.
Wow. And then it moved to
Which is
$3.
great.
So.
Yes. Actually, I got the absolute peak. I'd set my order cells really where I projected them to go, and got out, cashed out. But then there's another story attached to that. So, but that was my best trade ever, and I followed a lot of the rules, and that was a perfect breakout trade. So I quite like a breakout trade. That's like one of my favorite trades to take.
Yeah. Well, now that we know your best trade, we want to talk about your worst trade. And I know it's really hard to talk about it because I know I don't like talking about how I lost 100 Bitcoins doing stupid trades. That was before I learned how to trade, though.
Yeah.
Right? And it was very painful.
Yeah. The worst trade, I mean, it is painful. I think you need therapy about it. It's still, I'm sure, when you think about it, it resonates. It's like, wow, did I do something so stupid like that? I've made a good couple of stupid trades before. Usually FOMO trades.
Have you gotten angry, gotten a revenge trade?
Yeah, I've done some revenge trading.
Oh man, those are the worst.
Revenge trading is the worst. I think in January or February of 2018, I was doing a fair bit of revenge trading because I'd FOMO'd back into things after my Ripple trade, and FOMO'd back in, and then obviously things started to deteriorate really quickly. And then I tried to make up my losses by revenge trading, and realised that that's what I was doing as well. And that's when I had to put the brakes on and step out completely, take the loss, and start again from scratch. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a very hard thing to do, right?
It is. It's humble pie.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of humble pie. Yes. You get used to eating humble pie. If you're going to make
it doesn't taste very good.
It tastes awful. Little side of cream. Yeah, it's awful.
Yes.
But
it's a learning experience. It's
such a learning experience, and you then visit all the what if only I still had that capital, I'd have this amount of Bitcoins. If I, you start, and then you have to also drop that narrative, because we can all sit here and go, what if? It's like when people say that real estate.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have bought a house in that suburb. So, well, you didn't.
Exactly. If ifs and buts were cherries and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Exactly. I like that. So I stopped doing that to myself as well, because that was really beating myself up. And I sounded like those real estate people. I mean, I've been that real estate person. Oh, I could have bought this house, it would be worth this much. It's a useless thing to reflect on, because it didn't happen. So it's just, what can you do now to move forward? Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely. Well, you know what? It's been great talking to you.
Yes,
right?
Likewise.
I hope to see you on YouTube. Right? If you have a YouTube channel,
bugging me to do it.
I'll definitely subscribe.
Hit subscribe.
But you can come onto my channel anytime you like.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, and we're heading off on a boat shortly.
Exactly.
And it's going to be lovely in Bali.
Looking
so if you haven't been to Bali, you should contemplate visiting. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye.